Oh man, another day, another podcast episode. Thank you everybody for joining me. My name is Ryan Thomas. You are tuning into the Thomas Take Sports Podcast live on YouTube, and I wanted to hop on here and talk about my boy, my man, my main man, Josh Allen, who it is reported, on pretty much every major sports site or whatever you want to call it, whether it's ESPN, whether it's any one of the big sports sites out there. Josh Allen will be sharing reps with the ones in OTAs. This has got a lot of Buffalo Bills fans psyched up. This has got a lot of Buffalo Bills fans really intrigued as far as the development of Josh Allen, what could take place in terms of that development. How is he moving along? These are questions that Bills fans are really, really looking to find out. They really want to understand these questions. I want to read a passage from Buffalo Bills running back Josh Allen from Buffalo Bills running back LaShawn McCoy on Josh Allen as I move the camera down here. Sorry about that. LaShawn McCoy said Tuesday of rookie quarterback Josh Allen, quote, "He's smart. He has to learn, of course. He throws some passes that probably shouldn't have been thrown. Other than that, he has a very strong arm. He's very intelligent. He's too smart. I tell him sometimes, hey, easy. This is not like an exam. Just talk to me. You can say, yo. You can say what's up. But from a talent level, he's going to be really good for a lot of years. I want to be a part of that when he takes over eventually. We took him early in the draft, so that's just common sense. He's special, that's for sure." Josh Allen took 4 snaps with the first team in OTAs today, as reported by ESPN staff writer and not one of my favorite human beings on the face of the earth, I might add, Mike Rodak. Other than the 4 snaps, Josh shouldn't say human beings. I just don't like his style, but to each his own. Other than the 4 snaps Josh Allen took with the first team, Nathan Peterman took the other 18 snaps with the Bills' top unit in 11-on-11 work during Tuesday's minicamp practice. Peterman, who also looked sharp with the first team last Thursday at OTAs, went 10 of 13 passing and ended the practice with a well-executed touchdown to undrafted free agent wide receiver Cam Phillips. I've heard nothing but good things about Nate Peterman in year 2 of OTAs for him. I've heard that he looks a lot better. He's far more confident. He's getting the ball out of his hand very quickly and has been able to avoid some of the setbacks that he had last year, oftentimes looking down one receiver, not scanning the field. Those are things that he definitely needed to work on, and those are things that I've heard just in OTA walkthroughs that he's really improved on. Josh Allen received 4 snaps with the first team in 11-on-11 work during Tuesday's minicamp practice, the first time the number 7 overall pick has practiced with Buffalo's top unit. He was 3 of 4 in that segment before taking 2 snaps and 9-on-9, no defensive tackles rushing. After completion to start, his second pass was tipped by safety Micah Hyde and intercepted by rookie linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. After practice, Allen approached Hyde about the play, and his veteran safety told the rookie he read his eyes. So, obviously there's going to be some growing pains here, but there are definite reasons to believe that Josh Allen has all the talent in the world to be the long-term answer at quarterback that the Buffalo Bills have not had in quite some time. There's obviously a lot of reason to believe as well that the man has a lot of work to do. So I get that fans are excited that he's going to be taking the first team reps in OTAs. I think that that's great. I think, obviously he shared some of the OTA reps with Nate Peterman. Very limited, only 4 snaps, 3 of 4 passing. 4 snaps is nothing. It's something, but it's nothing at the same time. But to say the least, I think that this is a kid that has a long way to go. We have to realize that as Buffalo Bills fans. He might not be the most polished guy. He was not deemed to be the most polished guy in this class. He was not deemed to be a guy that would play right out of the gate. He was deemed to be a guy that might take some time to learn, to grow, to get better. with this current Buffalo Bills offense, which, let's be honest, I see it as this. I personally don't know if I want Josh Allen out there right now, right away, right out of the gate, due to the fact that the Bills don't have the deepest offense by any stretch of the imagination. They have one of the worst wide receiver groups in the National Football League. Dare I say it, they are one LaShawn McCoy injury away from having one of the worst offenses in the National Football League. So throwing a rookie out there under those circumstances, I don't necessarily think that that's a great idea. I would only throw Josh Allen out there if I do deem that he's the best second option to whoever we decide to start. I think the starting quarterback race is that. I think it is a race between A.J. McCarron and Nathan Peterman. And to be quite fair, from what I've read in terms of OTAs, I would say Nate Peterman might actually be winning that quote-unquote race, which it hasn't really begun yet. That starts come training camp time. But to say the least, there are positive reports coming out about Nate Peterman being highly improved from years past. He worked a lot with Joe Licata, who's a good buddy of mine, former University Buffalo quarterback, at his quarterback camp, athletic director for Timon, I can't remember what school it is off the top of my head. I think it's Timon, I can't remember. But I'd have to text him, hit him up. But I don't think that these strides that Nate made are for naught. I think that there's some real growth that Nate Peterman has had in his repertoire within this last offseason. And I think them drafting a quarterback this high and Josh Allen actually fueled the fire for Nate to do much, much better. Much, much better. So I'm actually going to give a good buddy of mine, Samuel White, a call, because I've actually just dawned on me that I want to get him on and see what he's up to. So Samuel's been on the show multiple times before. We'll see what he's got going on. If he doesn't answer, he doesn't answer. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, Samuel White?
Nothing much, Ryan Thomas.
Once again, what if I told you that you are live on YouTube with Ryan Thomas of the Thomas Take Sports podcast? Do you got a minute, buddy?
Of course I got a minute.
All right. So I want to pick your brain on a few things. I wanted to have you on for this show specifically, as far as there's news out now that Josh Allen is going to share some first team reps with Nate Peterman. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw the article pop up for me. I didn't actually stop and read it, but I'm not totally surprised by it, because I think they do want him comfortable with the team, because you never know what can or will happen.
Right.
It also gives him a chance to be evaluated with the people that are going to be, front and center on the team. So I think it makes sense. I don't know. Now, again, I didn't read the article.
Right.
And I haven't looked into anything. I personally don't think, based on just seeing it, that it's a lot to dig into. But at the same time, it could be telling as to how they feel he's been progressing, because as we mentioned before, you mentioned to me before, and I agreed with, he has to earn his time with the first
ones.
team.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, and I think it's showing that he's actually doing something right that is allowing them to go, okay, he deserves this chance. It's not just the fact that we drafted him high or we traded up for him. It's the fact that he's earned the ability to be evaluated at that level.
The beauty of it is like being that we live in this day and age, we got technology right at our fingertips. If we want to find something out, we can look it up right away, and sometimes not even intentionally. And when I heard the news of him getting some first team reps, I took to Twitter and saw what I could find, and my boy Mike Rodak at ESPN.com. my boy Mike Rodak of ESPN.com, posted on the ESPN Bills site that there's some very interesting takeaways that I want to read to you and just get your thoughts on. I read them at the start of the show. I'll read them to you, and I want to get your reaction to this. So, LeSean McCoy had a few things to say about Josh Allen, and I'll read the quote. He said, and I quote, "He's smart. He has to learn, of course. He's thrown some passes that probably shouldn't have been thrown. Other than that, he has a strong arm, very strong arm, and he's very intelligent. He's almost too smart. I tell him sometimes, hey, easy. This is not like an exam. Just talk to me. You can say yo, or you can say what's up every once in a while. But from a talent level, he's going to be really good for a lot of years. I want to be a part of that. When he takes over eventually, we took him early in the draft, so that's just common sense. He's special, that's for sure." What are your thoughts on that? I think that's a ringing endorsement there from LeSean McCoy.
Absolutely. I think that the portion about his natural ability, and also the portion about him having some passes that shouldn't have been thrown or that were poorly thrown, I think those are all expected. I don't think that there's too many quarterbacks, anyone chosen in the top 10 that those type of things aren't being said about them currently.
Right.
I think the most telling thing that isn't eye-opening, but probably helps to solidify some thoughts that people had, would be the fact that he talks about how smart he is. The way that it sounds like he's acting, at least from what McCoy said, is that he's taking it very, very serious. He doesn't view this as the Bills reached for me, so they needed me, and I can kind of do what I want to do and catch on as I need to. Like, he's taking it like, this is my job, and I'm going to find this out and be, the best that I can be. And I appreciate players like that if that's the angle LeSean McCoy was coming from.
Right. And I think it was. I don't see him as a bad teammate. He's been in the NFL for almost 10 years, maybe a little over 10 years now. And he's been a product of a lot of really good offenses. The first thing that I thought when I read his statements were when Carson Wentz went down last year, it was almost like LeSean McCoy was watching the game. He was the first guy to say, hey, Nick Foles is just as good. And everyone was like, no, he's not. And then he proved that he was just as good, if not better in some ways with certain things. So I see him as a really good teammate. I thought that was really great to read. Another snippet that I wanted to read to you here, in terms of the current depth chart for the Bills. Mike Rodak. Oh, I got somebody beeping outside. Mike Rodak. Other than the 4 snaps Josh Allen took with the first team, Nathan Peterman took the other 18 snaps with the Bills' top unit in 11-on-11 work during Tuesday's minicamp practice. Peterman, who also looked sharp with the first team last Thursday at OTAs, went 10 of 13 passing and ended the practice with a well-executed touchdown to undrafted rookie free agent wide receiver Cam Phillips.
Nice.
So Nate Peterman is improving.
Yeah. I don't know if I use the word improving, because I think that he's proving, not necessarily improving. I think he has obviously room to grow. But you're the one who put me onto this guy, and I've been smitten with him ever since. I stuck through him after the 5 interceptions. Some were his fault, some weren't. That's a story for another day. I think that he proves that he has natural ability, and he understands the flow of the game, and where wide receivers are supposed to be and where he needs to place the ball. unfortunately, because of some circumstances in that game, even with decent placement, odd things happened.
Right.
So I'm not surprised that he's getting snapped. I think the Bills feel the same way they did about Peterman than they did prior to that debacle of the game. I believe that they know that they have something that could be worked on and be special. I think that the Bills are in a really prime spot with three guys who all have different abilities, but are all willing to work hard, play hard, and could be an asset to this team if they need to step up.
Right. Well, I got somebody at my door here. Unfortunately, I don't know who it is, but I'm gonna hang up real quick. I'm gonna call you back.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'll be right back.
Bye-bye.